There are moments in royal history when the tension inside palace walls is not caused by political turmoil, constitutional crises, foreign affairs, or family scandals, but by something far more unexpected, something that begins in the quiet corners of ordinary life and grows into a storm of public frustration. And this time, that storm is rising not because of who the royals are, but because of where they live. It begins with the Wales family's new forever home, a secluded Georgian mansion tucked behind the trees near Windsor. But for the locals who share the same roads, the same pathways, the same seasonal traditions, this new royal move has triggered backlash that is impossible to ignore. And what should have been a peaceful Christmas season has instead become a symbol of the hidden cost of royal privacy, a cost that everyday people are paying without having any say in the matter. But before we dive in, there's something I need to share with you. Over the past few days, thousands have watched these stories unfold, but most haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, I invite you now to join us. Subscribe to Crownverse so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding royal history. The story begins earlier this November, when Prince William, Princess Kate, and their children quietly left Adelaide Cottage and settled into Forest Lodge, their newly renovated 8-bedroom Georgian mansion. Insiders say the move was meant to provide stability, a permanent home, a sanctuary where the Wales family could raise George, Charlotte, and Louis away from the pressures of the spotlight, the place they intend to stay for decades, their forever home. And on the surface, it all seemed simple enough. A future king seeking privacy, a young family wanting space, a royal couple choosing security and peace. But beneath that calm, curated image lies a ripple effect that the Wales family did not expect, or perhaps underestimated. Because while the move may have been perfect for William and Kate, it was far from perfect for the people who live alongside them, the locals who drive those roads, the small businesses who rely on foot traffic, the residents who use the pathways and park entrances that have now been choked off or redirected. Forest Lodge didn't just change one family's life, it changed an entire neighborhood's routine. And Christmas has become the first painful reminder of just how disruptive the royal presence can be. The epicenter of the frustration is a beloved local business known simply as the Christmas Tree Shop, a family-run operation, a place families visit every year to pick out Christmas trees, wreaths, decorations, gifts, a place that brings joy, that brings tradition, that brings holiday spirit. But this year, that spirit has been overshadowed by something else entirely: cones, diversions, and a mile-long circular detour designed to keep cars from passing too close to the Wales family's new home. Before the Waleses moved in, customers could drive directly to the tree lot in just a few minutes. A simple turn, a quick stop, a stress-free seasonal visit. But now, because of the new security perimeter surrounding Forest Lodge, drivers are being forced to take a long, twisting reroute. Cars are being redirected into unfamiliar territory, and the seasonal joy of picking out a Christmas tree has turned into confusion, frustration, and delays. Residents told the Daily Mail that the new layout has caused near misses, people driving the wrong way around the cones, cars trying to cross over restricted lanes, and traffic piling up on pathways that were never meant to handle this kind of detour. Some of these accounts are verified through public complaints, while others describing how chaotic the confusion became are unverified but shared by locals who claim to have seen the incidents firsthand. What is clear, however, is that the disruption is real. One resident said plainly, "I've already seen a few near misses where people drove the wrong side of the cones." That alone tells you how jarring the changes have been. Another insisted that plainclothes officers have been stationed in running cars near the shop, watching for anyone who might attempt to glimpse Forest Lodge. The presence of security is confirmed, but the claim that officers remain parked there for extended periods, watching every movement, remains unverified. Still, The message is clear. The Wales family wants privacy, and the palace will enforce it. But this isn't the first time locals have been forced to adjust. Back in September, before the move was even announced publicly, residents learned they would no longer have access to a gate at Windsor Great Park, a gate they had used for decades to walk their dogs, jog, or simply enjoy peaceful time within the park. A gate they paid annually to maintain. A gate that was suddenly closed to them because the land behind it now belongs to the security perimeter surrounding Forest Lodge. One woman who had walked her dog there for over 20 years said being shut out of that area was a kick in the teeth. That quote is verified, and it speaks to a larger truth, a truth Britain has confronted many times. Private royal security often comes at a public cost, and here that cost is being felt acutely. What makes this situation so unusual and so ripe for public frustration is that the Wales's move wasn't simply a private family decision. It triggered a chain reaction involving traffic patterns, business access, local traditions, and community routines. Forest Lodge isn't in a remote rural area. It isn't set miles away from the nearest town. It sits right next to homes, shops, and pathways used by regular people every day. And the moment the Wales settled inside that mansion, their privacy became everyone else's inconvenience. Some insiders say this was unavoidable, the natural consequence of housing a future king and his family in a busy area. Privacy is non-negotiable. Protecting the children is essential, and ensuring no one can drive too close to the family home is standard procedure. Those elements are factual and reflect typical royal security operations. But other insiders, whose claims are unverified, suggest the scale of the security perimeter was influenced by William himself, who allegedly requested stricter measures after several incidents involving fans, photographers, and curious walkers around Adelaide Cottage. Whether this is true remains uncertain, but the speculation has added fuel to the fire. Because when people feel their daily lives are being disrupted, they want someone to blame. And William, intentionally or not, has become the focal point. Locals aren't angry about the Wales family personally. There's no hatred, no hostility toward the children or the couple. But the frustration is real, and it's growing. When a mile-long detour becomes the new normal, when familiar gates are closed, when traffic officers become part of the neighborhood landscape, people begin to feel something deeper: displacement. The sense that their needs matter less, that their routines matter less, that their access to places they've used for decades is suddenly secondary to royal privacy. And this feeling, this quiet resentment, is the hidden cost of royal life. It's not written into the Constitution, it's not included in public speeches, but it is real. When a royal family moves in, the experience for those around them changes, sometimes in ways the public can accept, and sometimes in ways they cannot. The Wales are the most popular senior royals behind the late Queen, but popularity doesn't erase logistical frustration. And for some residents, the move to Forest Lodge has altered daily life in ways they never imagined. 1 mile in a car may not sound like much, but multiplied over hundreds of holiday shoppers, multiplied over hours of diverted traffic, multiplied across weekends of Christmas crowds, multiplied across families who simply want their traditional tree, the inconvenience becomes real. And then there's the symbolism. Christmas is one of the few times of year when communities feel united, when traditions matter, when small family rituals create joy. So when those very rituals are interrupted, even unintentionally, it hits deeper. People feel disappointed, inconvenienced, and overlooked. They feel like the royal family, in seeking a quiet and protected holiday season, has unintentionally disrupted theirs.
The palace, for its part, has not commented on the issue. Their focus remains on the security of the Wales family. And behind closed doors, advisors likely see this as a minor inconvenience, something that will settle after the holidays. But inside the community, it feels bigger. Because this isn't the first change. It's the second, and residents worry it won't be the last. First, the gate closure. Now, the Christmas traffic fiasco. What comes next? More closures? More diversions? More restricted areas? These concerns, while unverified, are being whispered by locals who already fear the neighborhood is shifting permanently. Some royal watchers say William's move to Forest Lodge was meant to symbolize stability, a future king grounding his family in tradition. But instead, the immediate impact has been unease, disruption, and a sense that the royals' needs outweigh the community's comfort. The backlash is not explosive, not dramatic, not headline-grabbing in the way royal scandals usually are, but it is steady. And steady backlash is a quiet threat. Because a monarchy relies on goodwill, on trust, on public affection. And the smallest frictions can accumulate in ways the palace does not anticipate. The Wales family is beloved, but even beloved figures can unintentionally create frustration. And history shows us that public opinion shifts not only because of major scandals, but because of patterns of small grievances that pile up over time. Forest Lodge was meant to be a symbol of peace, privacy, and family unity, but this Christmas it has become a symbol of something else entirely. The invisible cost of royal life, the hidden price paid by ordinary people, and the complicated reality of hosting a future king in a modern community. And as more residents speak out, more journalists cover the disruptions, and more photos circulate of cones and diversions near the property, one truth becomes clearer. The move to Forest Lodge did not just affect William and Kate, it affected everyone around them. The palace may see privacy, but locals see barriers. The palace sees security, but locals see inconvenience. And between those two perspectives lies the tension that is driving this backlash. Whether the frustration grows or fades will depend on how the situation unfolds. Will the detours remain temporary, or will they become long-term? Will the closed gates reopen someday, or are they sealed forever? Will the locals adapt and accept the changes, or will resentment deepen over time? One thing is certain. The royal family's decision to prioritize privacy has created consequences they did not intend. And this Christmas season, as drivers navigate new routes, as families search for the right tree, and security officers quietly watch from parked cars, the quiet question remains: how much privacy is too much when the price is paid by the community? Forest Lodge may be the Wales family's forever home, but for the people who live around it, the transition has raised concerns, frustrations, and fears that won't disappear overnight. And as the Wales children grow, as the family settles in deeper, and as security protocols tighten over the years, the hidden cost of royal privacy may become one of the defining challenges of life near Windsor. Only time will tell whether the backlash fades or intensifies. But one thing is undeniable. The move that was supposed to bring peace has instead stirred tension, frustration, and a growing debate about what royal privacy should mean in a modern shared community.